Hello, this is Carl, and I'm here to do a video on what the broken window fallacy is and how it's used within today, and how you probably have seen it or encountered it at some point in your life. So we'll start by saying that the example given by the French economist Friedrich Bastiat was how a broken window doesn't it being destroyed does not help the economy, because let's say a kid were to throw a rock through a store window, let's just say a bakery, and so like they throw the rock in, all right, window's broken, business is now going to have to shell out money to pay for that window. And so that means the window company, they're going to get business because they're going to get money from it. And so the kid may come out and be like, oh, I helped because I helped generate this money by breaking that window. Problem is, when that money is used for something that's been broken or destroyed, it takes away from those resources going to something else. The baker themselves, who owns the place, could have used it to buy, let's say, a new pair of shoes. They could have used it to improve equipment that's at the place. And that also goes into what I talk about, if that is what is seen and that is what is unseen. What you see is the broken window and it having to be replaced. What you don't see is what that money could be used for, aka the opportunity cost of having to pay for the broken window. Example I like to give this first is in the field of economics, how Fraud Krugman said how the 9/11 attack, terrorist attack, would help be a good thing because it helped generate economics. Because then then our arms companies started getting more production, so their business started going up. So he's trying to make the argument, oh, the war in Iraq, that's giving us better business and better economy. Problem is, when that money is going to war and paying for let's say, like planes, or just paying for the resources that we have to use in the army, that money could go towards education. It could go towards helping, let's say, like domestic land. It could go towards infrastructure costs nationally. And another example given through Vladimir Lenin was how destroying the peasant farms was to speed up the stages towards communism. And thought, oh, because it's of the capitalist system, so let's destroy it because that speeds up the process more. Well, then people don't have fucking food. Having food isn't fucking capitalist. It's fucking what is being normal goddamn human. And from actually the book itself that Bastiat writes, it gives how the right to employment is the other person, or they will give you work at their price. But then the right to profit is when you get to throw the price out, but they will be the one to do, or they will be helping. And the example they gave here, I believe, was with certain people living in an area, like let's say farmers. If there's a demand to make turnips, but turnips aren't really profitable in exactly as they are, and let's say like there's some price control on it. So what if the farmer's like, oh, if like you put a tax on this on other people, it's like it'll make it profitable for me, blah blah blah. Problem is, then the consumers who are going to have to pay that tax, they're going to have to take that money they would be using either as a saving or using it and put it into that price increase. So when these repairs happen, it takes away what could have been. So let's say like you could have spent it on tomatoes. It's like, but what would have been the next thing? Maybe you like strawberries next, so you would have spent it on strawberries. That's what's unforeseen, because it didn't happen. But it would have happened because it was the opportunity cost. Yeah, it shows here how you don't want to levy taxes on society just to help one entity or industry, because the losses that are faced as society as a whole will definitely be greater than whatever improvements are given to the industry, because only the industry will reap those benefits. But all these other articles here, like what is this about? Broken window fallacy, blah blah blah. So yeah, and the reason it won't go away when you have to spend that money on the broken window is because you're still wanting, let's say, food or those new shoes or that improved equipment. So the demand's still there because it doesn't change. Just because you get like rid of supply in any way or change its factors doesn't mean demand itself is going to change exactly. In response, in the long run, it could change, but in the short run, where everything is fixed, such as capital, it won't change. But if you were looking into this book, which explains the whole thing about it, it is actually from an 18th or 19th century French economist, Frederic Bastiat. That is what's seen and that is what is not seen. The unintended consequences of government spending. So how this breaks into it is how the government will say, oh, the impact of this project will like reap this much benefits to the area. Problem is they're probably exaggerating it by using gross impact instead of net impact, which includes the cost. So let's say, I guess an example I could give is the government puts a dollar tax for every package of water bought. It's like sure, it's like oh, but that'll be going to clean up the waste it puts out. It's like sure you could do that, but then that takes $1 away from each person when they buy water containers. And if you have water containers bought as a normal good, so people are buying them left and right, usually at a basic price, then they have to take that money from somewhere else, wherever it may have been used. Maybe it'll be used as savings, but then that would require decreasing the savings rates, and that would be something else to go on. But I will definitely go into different subjects later. I'm glad I got to put this video about that which is seen and that which is unseen. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will make sure to do more soon.